We are currently
On our
on our
way.
way to Lincoln 214
That's right.
with Paul,
I'm Paul.
my partner. Okay. We're going to interview
Oh,
a new person to the Heritage staff, but he is also a military
that's right.
person. And
So why you probably didn't see you with this?
oh, and he's not here yet, so
We're gonna have to wait a little
yeah,
bit.
cut. Joel here with Paul, partner in crime. We're getting ready to interview Mr. Posley, army person, right? Mr. Posley, you can't keep leaving. We gotta get. We want to know what branch are you currently under, and how's the job like?
I'm in the military intelligence branch, and the job basically deals with like interrogating, cyber intelligence and stuff like that are our different fields that we deal with. As an officer, we kind of have an overview of the whole military intelligence branch, so we're not specified on one job.
And so how at a young age, or what age did you realize that you wanted to join the army?
Originally in high school, I decided to join. I joined when I was 17 and a half, so I had to get my parents' permission and all that, so I joined in high school, and I've been in ever since. Whether it was as an officer or enlisted, I joined when I was 17 and a half.
What requirements did you have to meet during the whole process?
For me, there was a lot of requirements. The first one was, all the medical, the physical fitness, and all of the taking the ASVAB and different things like that. But then to become an officer, you had to get your degree. I received a 4-year scholarship to get mine to become an officer, so we did that. And then with that came a bunch of criteria of going to different schools and stuff like that to finish off that program.
Okay, so are there any benefits that come with this?
The military has a lot of good benefits. We have education benefits, healthcare, dental, all that kind of stuff for us and our families. So it really helps out with being able to get the different benefits that we need to keep ourselves.
Are you currently under any benefits?
I have the dental and medical benefits, and I have a life insurance through them as well. I did use the education benefits when I went to college.
Okay, so what's your opinion on joining the army and going to school at the same time?
It can be tough depending on what kind of contract you get. With any hopes, you get a college first contract. I don't know if they have them right now, but they're kind of an on and off thing where you're guaranteed 2 years to pursue an associate's degree at a community college. I would recommend someone going to school first and then joining the military, depending on what their aspects are. I really do encourage everyone to go to school so that they can get that civilian training that they need, and then go on if they want to pursue the military. But it changes for everyone in their scenario and situation.
How did you know the military was for you? What made you want to join it?
It wasn't really my family influences because, my dad was in the Air Force, but it was really kind of my own decision. I was in JROTC in high school, and so I kind of got used to that structure and discipline and all the stuff that they stressed on us, and I really liked it, so I decided that I wanted to try and take it on as a career, and then I joined, and then I received the scholarship, so I had to switch paths.
What does ROTC stand for exactly?
Reserve Officer Training Course, so it's basically the training program that every Army officer goes through in order to receive their commission.
And a big question is, how did you survive the cut, the vigor of the Army?
It's not as tough as everyone makes that seem. As long as you have that self-motivation and drive to get through tough times, then you're fine, you'll make it through. It's just all about pushing yourself and really striving to do your best. And teamwork's a big part of the military. Without, depending on your buddies and leaning on each other's backs to get through the mission or whatever it may be, it makes it a lot harder.
And this is kind of personal, but do you regret any decisions with the army?
Not really. I mean, it worked out for me in the end. It was a little tough going through it at first just because I joined and then I had to get discharged to transfer over, and it was a big old paperwork warfare kind of thing going on, but in the end it worked out for me well, and I don't really regret any of my decisions.
How long was your basic training for?
My basic training was the officer's version of it, so it was what we call officer's basic, and it was 28 days, so 4 weeks just about, and it's kind of an intense hit the ground running of testing you on your knowledge of land nav weapons and different things like that in order to get through the training that you need to certify you to say yes, you can become an officer.
Okay. And so what do you expect to see or get from being in the army or with the army?
With the military, I've already gotten a lot. I have gotten the sense of teamwork and self-motivation that it's critical in life to be able to have that, because even in civilian side, teaching and all of that, it's like in my classes I really stress teamwork and being able to work with someone, because it's a big part of being successful. And so with the military, you learn teamwork, self-motivation, just learning to dig deeper and not give up so easily.
Is the Army like how they kind of like portray it to be, like kind of like mass like shootings, or is it like more like intense training for when the moment does happen?
No, it's more for training of when the intense moment's going to happen, and being ready for that call, saying, hey, it's time to go, it's time to do our jobs, and we need to be ready at the call, especially in the National Guard, because in the active Army they have a mission to the country. Well, in the National Guard we have a mission to the country and the state, so when natural disasters happens, we're the ones who get called to assist, like fires or floods or hurricanes or anything like that. The National Guard gets called as well, so not only do we have our national mission, we have our state level mission as well.
Okay, so how has the Army like impacted your life?
It's really changed who I was. I mean, it really matures you quick, because you got to learn to grow up really fast. So I was more mature than most of my friends in high school, and so then going to training and all that, it just really teaches you, buckle down, get down to business, get what you need done, and then it'll get you to where you need to go faster. So whereas my friends were finishing college after 5-6 years, I was done in 4 years and onto a career by the time I was 22, which is where I'm at now.
Is there any like tips for people that want to join the Army? Kind of
The only tips I would have is, you really got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. It really isn't a thing you want to say, oh, I need the education benefits, or I want it for the benefits. It's something you need to have a deeper passion to do. It's, I want to help, I want to, sign the blank check to my country, because in reality, when you join the military, it's not really for any benefits, because you can always get called to put your life on the line for the country. So you really need to understand that.
When the moment does happen, would you feel fear, or would it just strengthen you more to want to?
I mean, it's natural. It's going to be, you're going to feel some level of fear no matter who you are. It's always, that thought in the back of your mind, what if? But the hardest part is, leaving your family behind, because then, they're on their own. And that's why when we have soldiers that deploy or go anywhere, we're sure to take care of their families and really reach out to the families to help them through the time, because it's difficult. It's just as difficult for families as it is the soldiers deployed.
Alright, I think that about wraps it up.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Alright, well, me and Joel just finished our interview with Mr. Posley.
It was different, and we saw a side of Mr. Posey that a lot of people really didn't see, because they think of him as more like a strict tutor in the past. But maybe after watching this interview, you'll see that he does a lot for us as a whole country. And
Indeed.
yeah.
And I learned a lot of stuff, considering that I am very interested in the military lifestyle. And so he answered a lot of questions that I had myself. And yeah, so over and out.
Peace.